So I've got my finished embroidery here, and now it's time to put it in a frame. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna iron this fabric just to get out these extra wrinkles. So I'm gonna flip it over and start by ironing it from the back side. It doesn't have to be perfect because when we put it in the frame, we're gonna pull it tight a little bit. It'll help get rid of some of these creases. And depending on the frame you're using, sometimes you can fit the fabric in with both layers of fabric, and sometimes you need to trim this one down to be just the size of the glass. So I'm gonna find out if my frame can handle both pieces of fabric. To do that, I'm just gonna set the embroidery with the glass in the frame and see if it will pop into place. So that's great news. That means I can keep both these layers of fabric. But if it won't fit, then you can trim off this inside fabric to be just the same exact size as the glass, and then you'll only be folding over the linen part. We're gonna be wrapping the fabric around this glass. So right now we're just gonna get a loose idea. I'm gonna fold this in and flip it over to kind of see what it would look like on the sides. I'm gonna shift it a tiny bit, and then we'll do the same for the top and bottom. I'm gonna flip it over. That looks good to me. I've got a heat erasable pen I'm using, and I'm just gonna trace this glass square so that I can easily find the spot again. Then I'm gonna take some scissors and cut off some of this excess fabric. Then I'm taking some tape and I'm folding down the sides and the top and bottom. So I did side to side and I pulled that tension tight. Now I'm doing top and bottom. So I did the top and now I'm doing the bottom. And I'm just gonna pull on this fabric here to get that tension a little kind of tight, and that I can see the wrinkles on the underside of the glass straightening out. Now I can flip it over and briefly check to see how it's going, make sure it's straight and it didn't shift too much. And if there's anything you want to adjust, now's the time. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off some of this extra bulk on the corners. And I'm going to take more tape and go around and just finish securing this entire inside square. I'm making sure I'm pulling it tight, because that's going to help relieve any wrinkles on the inside. And I always do bottom, top, side, side. Okay, once I've gone through with all of my clear tape, I'm going to take some masking tape. Just do big pieces over it to secure that tape down. Okay, now that I've got this inner area taped down, I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna assess how I'm going to do this outer layer. So I can see that most of my wrinkles run this direction. I've got this one here, got these up here, some in between. So I'm gonna start with my sides, taping down my sides to help see if I can pull out some of those wrinkles. So I'm gonna start with the sides and I'm gonna pull this fabric, make sure I've got a good amount of tension. For everything I do on one side, I'm gonna turn and do it on the other side just to keep it even. I'm gonna trim off some bulk on these corners. I'm just gonna be careful not to cut too close to right here because I don't want the glass to poke through. Okay, let's check it. Now I'm gonna do one last thing of masking tape just to anchor everything down. We're gonna take this and we're just gonna place it inside the frame. It turned out really good, you guys. I'm not gonna lie.